Hello, welcome to Millennial Made. My name is Rod, and I just let out a very audible grunt as I sat on the couch. Not out of pain, just out of instinct. There should be a study done on the pep talks I give myself. I was looking in the mirror today, just going through my daily affirmations. You are valuable. You are trying to be kind, because that's up to the person. You are worth it. But today I came up with a new one, is you are not tired. I had to talk myself into not being tired. And if there's a greater narrative into what it's like being in your 30s, that would be it. You are not tired. So say it with me. You are not tired. Or if you're tired, take a nap too. The beauty of being an adult is you get to fully take advantage of taking a nap whenever you want. I got this new pillow from Urban Outfitters. And my, it's not new because it came in 3 months ago. And what I do is I'll get a package and not open it up. And then I'll think, I should open that package that I forgot about. And then it's too late to return it. One of my worst traits, maybe I should do this in my mirror every morning too, is I don't return things. The thought of, first of all, if it's an online order, having to call, if I try to return it online or there's not a portal and it's like, please call our customer. No, I'm keeping it. One time I accidentally ordered 2 pairs of pants, kept them both. They were literally the same pair of pants. And the kicker, neither one of them fit. I'm a solid 34-inch inseam. These were easily a 30. So if anyone is out there with a 36-30 pant size, let me know. 2 pairs of navy pants coming to you. But back to our scheduled programming. I always hated that my mom would force me to nap. I would lie awake in bed like this. It's daylight. Why am I sleeping? I could be out playing my Game Boy. But today I would give anything for at least 30 minutes to take a nap. At least 30 minutes to take a nap. Why are we so tired as a generation? Multiple global catastrophes, possibly. National security. Horrifying incidences. Being put live on TV. Maybe. But that's how we go to therapy, folks. That is why we go to therapy. Speaking of mental health, little update for you all. I've been going through it. It's no secret. I see it in the comments and I appreciate the love. But social media is a crazy place. And just to give kind of the insider perspective on being a creator, no one prepares you for this. Like even now, the way I'm sitting, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to be perceived on the internet? With this virality, like you see celebrities and they have PR teams from the get-go and, they have people that can come around them and be like, hey, I've been through it with you. And I'm not saying that what they go through is not rough, because the thought of a fashion police, I hate that whole concept of just like, you were probably so confident stepping out of your closet or getting styled, paying for a stylist too. You have to pay for a stylist and glam. And then to step on the carpet and someone tears you to shreds because they don't like what you're wearing. Ugh. I hate that concept. But anyways, no one prepares you for this. You're kind of thrusted into this new reality. And I'm so grateful for it too. And that's what's so hard not to talk about, is because I know that some back and forth and, well, you should want this or you asked for this. And first of all, with reality, you don't really ask for it. It just kind of happens. But secondly, there is a little bit of trauma because your life changes overnight with anything. On the internet, good or bad. And then, for example, I've been probably in the worst season of my life personally, but then I'm getting on the internet, and that's why I haven't been posting content as much. And even sometimes doing this podcast, if I'm just going to be honest and upfront with you, can be kind of, it's very difficult to do, very difficult to hit record and think, what are the comments going to say? What are people going to think about me? But all that to say, I am very grateful for my audience because, yes, everyone has a hater or a troll. I love living in the city. But you guys, especially those who listen to the podcast, I feel like this is our core group. I'm so grateful for the support you give me. But also, kind of like I said in the last episode, you never know what someone's going through. So it costs 0 cents to be kind. So be kind, be loving, and show love to yourself too. Show love to yourself, because at the end of the day, whatever is thrown at you, what is most important is how you think of yourself. I think that if there's anything also that I've learned in the past, we're coming up in 2 years next month of making content, is be kind to yourself. And if you aren't putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but more of a way of, I need to show myself love and I need to put my mental health first, it's going to be impossible for you to give your true self to others. And I know for me, even now, when people start to ask a personal question, because I think it's going to lead to a deeper conversation, I just immediately shut it down, because I'm worried about where that conversation is going to go. But you need to show yourself love. You need to show yourself grace. Know that you make mistakes, and do what fulfills you, yes, but do what serves you more. Sometimes that's actually something that my therapist and I have been working on, is I'll do something, or I'll be afraid to do something, and then the first question I ask myself is this worth it? Not in the sense of, is it like monetary is the first thing people go to, but no, is it worth my mental health? Is it worth my time that I could be putting elsewhere? And is it worth me, giving up a piece of myself too? Because every moment of your life, you're breathing out air, you're giving up a piece of yourself. As disgusting as it is, your skin flakes, like you're shedding constantly. So is this worth the time to give this little part of myself up? And again, not to sound selfish, and also just want to reiterate how grateful I am for this past 2 years.
Anticipation is key with many things in life, and it's better to be ready for something and set yourself up for success at the right moment and not be prepared at all. And the best time to prepare for growth is before the opportunity arrives, especially for online businesses. With ShipStation sets you up for growth by directly integrating with every shopping cart and storefront, so your products are easier to find, easier to manage, easier to get into the hands of happy customers, most importantly. So don't wait until you're drowning in orders to find the right shipping solution. You can upgrade to ShipStation today. So, especially with the holidays coming up, it's really important to understand that you need to be prepared now more than ever to get your orders to your customers on time, more efficiently, so that you're not overwhelmed. So why try to catch up when you're overwhelmed when you can anticipate it and be ready to go ahead of time? So whether you're starting small or scaling up, ShipStation makes ship happen. And no matter how much you're limiting your business, it's impossible to nearly limit it to one store. But with ShipStation, you can do that. It integrates with every platform, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and it makes it easy to manage all of your shipping from one simple dashboard. You can maximize your sales with minimal effort, and you can easily compare carriers, rates, and delivery times to get the most out of every single send. You can join over 130,000 companies who have grown their e-commerce business with ShipStation. So ShipStation customers that you guys might have heard of, Synergy, Horse Feathers Gifts, a Little Lunchbox Co. is another one that I recognize. And today with ShipStation, if you go to ShipStation.com today and sign up with promo code ROD for a free 60-day trial, you get a trial. So start today and get set up before the biggest shipping season of the year. That's 2 months free. Visit ShipStation.com, click the microphone at the top, and type in code ROD.
Anyways, let's jump into it. Top 8 of the week. Let's go. So, saw on TikTok this week, this girl says, look at the vintage clothes my mom decided to keep. And it was close from the 90s. Early 2000s even, which is terrifying that people I grew up with are creating teenagers. The scariest of them all. So she pulls out this clear Tupperware container. Ed Hardy shirts, not surprised, but they're not like the cool t-shirts we see now. They're like the bell flare sleeve ones, the thin linen shirts, jewels on it. Speaking of jewels, she pulled out a pair of True Religion bedazzled low-rise bootcut jeans. And the comments were going wild. I want the jeans. I need the jeans. Low rise. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Low rise is coming back. Prepare for it or not. If it works for you, great. Don't feel like you need to do it. And why am I telling you that? You're your own person. You should, if you want to wear low rise jeans, do it. If you don't, don't. But the bedazzling, the true religion of it all, sent me into orbit. Number 2 of top 8, Abbott Elementary had its season 2 premiere. And if you have not seen this show, as someone who is an education major, I taught in the public school system, this is the most accurate depiction of the inner workings of an elementary school, specifically an inner city school. It is such good writing. I followed Quinta Brunson when she worked for BuzzFeed, early 2010s. Is that what we say? 2010s. She made some really funny skits on YouTube. I just have followed her and have been a stan of her for so. Is that a stan of her, or I stan her? I don't know how to use that in different formats. But I've enjoyed her content for quite a while, and the writing in this is hilarious. It's very much an office type documentary, but there's the, side convos, the interviews, and the eye contact with the camera is always on point. And if you don't follow the Emmys or watch the Emmys, the show took so many awards for a comedy series, including Sheryl Lee Ralph, who won Best Supporting Actress, who was the original Donna. Is it Donna Summers? No. Is that who? It's not Donna Summers, but hold on, let me look. She was in the original cast of Dreamgirls as Dina Jones. Not Donna Summer, but it's based off Donna Summer. Dina Jones. She is one of the best parts of the show. If you don't know who Quinta is, definitely check her out. But my favorite cast member from Abbott Elementary has to be, make sure I get their character name right. Has to be, okay, so we know her from movies like Shall We Dance? She's been in a couple TV shows, but most notably, Lisa Ann Walter from Parent Trap plays Melissa, who is also a teacher, and takes place in Philadelphia. She plays this Philadelphia, wants to be mysterious kind of mob wife type character, and she is so hilarious. But it does give really good insight into the inner workings of a school. So if you want to see what it looks like on the inside, teachers being underfunded, teachers being underpaid, and which is still fascinating to me that some teachers still get paid under $40,000 a year, which is insane because the amount of schooling and trauma that you go through teaching is wild. But the comedic timing is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And some of the storylines are absurd. Some of the lines are absurd, but one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. So if you have not seen Abbott Elementary, check it out. Number 3, I saw an article this week how you shouldn't leave your kids in cars, which I'm like, oh, that obviously makes sense because the amount of dangers that could come from that, which for my parents that listen, I'm not going to obviously fearmonger. But then I got to thinking, and I love my mom, and I've said this before on this podcast, the 90s were a wild time. Anything went. Truly, like leaving your kids in cars. I have vivid memories of my mom running into Kohl's for 5 minutes, easily, only 5 minutes. And it felt like an hour. It felt like hours. And it was never hot. She always left the air conditioning on somehow. Maybe the keys were even, I'm going to talk about this in therapy. That is insane to me. But if there's any other 90s kids out there that experience the same thing of just the comfortability, and I get it, where you have to, pack up the kids, put them in the stroller, put them in a cart, go in, unpack, get your grocery shopping done. It could add extra 15, 20 minutes. I get it. But it's just so funny that the 90s were such a lawless time. I'm not sure. This is our number 4 on top 8. I'm not sure if you have seen the rumors of Lea Michele not being able to read. And this rumor that some YouTuber started is fascinating to me because, first of all, Lea Michele has come under a lot of scrutiny for the way she treated former cast members of Glee. Um, there's always been rumors that she's a diva on set, which she said she was just playing her character. Before her passing, Naya Rivera put some lines about her in her book. But most importantly, the microaggressions that a lot of cast members face. Lea Michele kind of denied, but also apologized. This was back 2019, I think. But anyway, she hasn't been doing much. But the role of Funny Girl, a Fanny Bryson Funny Girl, which Lea historically has sang a couple Funny Girl songs on Glee, Lea got cast as the lead. And the internet has had some mixed feelings about it. And then this rumor resurfaced of her not being able to read. And it's just hilarious to see because it is such an absurd rumor. But she has not denied it. And that's what everyone is saying is, Lea, we just need you to deny this absurd rumor, which is absolutely absurd, by the way. But she just created TikTok and she'd make some TikToks about it. It's pretty funny. So I'm not sure if you saw this from this Don't Worry Darling drama at the premiere. It was very eventful. Harry Styles kissed Nick Kroll, which was a big thing. But there was this video that someone took of Harry Styles sitting next to Chris Pine. And as he's sitting down, it seems that he has spit on Chris Pine. And it has been one of my favorite things to evolve on the internet, all of this drama, but this moment specifically. And kind of like we were talking about with the last point. But the rumors have been shut down by Chris Pine, and now Olivia Wilde, who is the director of the film, has weighed in on. And first of all, the movie looks too scary for me. I was expecting some like lighthearted, maybe a little bit of like, mental, it messes with your mind, but it looks terrifying. There's like a moment of Florence Pugh being pushed up against glass from a moving wall, and that alone gave me anxiety. And onto things with anxiety. So I haven't seen Euphoria. But anyway, Olivia has denied the rumors, and she's now saying that it is a great example of how anyone will cling on to anything in the internet. Which kind of checks out. Trust me. I know that one. All right, next. Leo DiCaprio dating Gigi Hadid. So it is another thing. One of my favorite jokes on the internet is Leonardo DiCaprio can't date anyone under the age of 25. And historically, he has broken up with many people that are under the age of 25. This most recent one when she turned that age. And now, though, it is rumored that he's dating Gigi Hadid, who's 26. But number one, I'm just fascinated. This man pulls. He pulls, man. There's something about him, I guess, huh? But beside the point, Gigi Hadid is 26 years old. So I think the chain is being broken. The prophecy is being fulfilled somehow. This is a random thing that popped up on the internet for me, and I don't think it's a rumor, and I don't think it's like one of those fan fictions. Sister Act 3 is in the making, and it's being produced by Tyler Perry. So what has me to believe is that the Sister Act universe and the Medea universe are in the same universe, which I'm grateful for. So I'm really hoping for a Medea cameo. Next and last, final from our top 8 segment this week. Did you know that written in the contract for the first season of American Idol, because Kelly Clarkson just got her own star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, very well deserved. She has one of the most successful talk shows. She is funny. She is kind from what I've heard and insanely talented. It was written in the contract that the two winners would have to film in a movie together, or star in a movie together, which is Justin to Kelly. And Kelly Clarkson almost didn't want to do it because she didn't want to win after seeing that in the contract, which is kind of a bummer because you would think you would want to do it all. But I thought it was interesting too, because she's like, no, I know how I act and I don't want to act. And everyone was telling her it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be a good movie. And the movie flopped. So she trusted her gut there. But the contract said otherwise. But now we have From Justin to Kelly, which still a fascinating watch if you haven't seen it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Great. On this week's Did It Age Well, a Real Housewife followed me on TikTok, and I haven't really dug into the Real Housewives cinematic universe. So I'm doing some research and seeing if they are one of the problematic ones, which from my research, aka me texting my friends, it doesn't seem like she is. She's kind of more of a crowd favorite. But then it brought up memories of Desperate Housewives, that show starring Terry Hatcher, Eva Longoria, and many more. And I had just rewatched it because I have this really terrible trait of not being able to, I don't know if I said this in the last episode. That's another terrible trait, is I don't remember anything, but I don't watch any new shows except Abbott Elementary, you know, I because all the new shows that I usually like are documentaries, and just with, like I said, I'm going through a lot mentally, I don't have the capacity to watch those. So I'll rewatch something or watch something nostalgic like Ugly Betty we talked about last week. Most recently, Desperate Housewives. And let me tell you, 8 seasons is a lot for a show. I see why many stop at 6. 8 seasons of Desperate Housewives. Very nostalgic. The fashion alone will just send you over the edge. A lot of low-rise jeans, a lot of Ed Hardy. And I thought it was a really good show to speak on if it aged well or not. And there's quite a few to take away. Number one, the fact that there is a lack of gun control. A lot of murders happening in the show. Where's everyone getting guns? Where is everyone getting guns here? Should have known. So could have told a lot sooner that things were going to go awry. Another point which was really interesting is Chessy Metcalf, who was John Tucker Must Die, who is John Tucker and John Tucker Must Die, starring, as we know, Brittany Snow, is a 16-year-old gardener for Eva Longoria and her husband. Now, Eva Longoria's husband was, at the time in the show, abusive, emotionally and physically, even at one point. And so she just needed somewhere to run to. And so there was this whole storyline of Eva Longoria's character having an affair with a 16-year-old gardener, which I thought was not okay. Even just the fact that it's, one, an affair, but two, it's statutory. Right? So that whole storyline could have been scrapped. The next one that I thought we could relate to was how Lynette Scavo is this character in the show. She got pregnant while she was trying to get a new job. And so what she had to do, because she was afraid that she wouldn't get the job, is lie about her pregnancy. And why is that such a thing? And even still to this day, beside the fact of equal pay and paid paternity leave, paid paternity leave, the fact that she was terrified to tell her boss that she was pregnant because she wouldn't get the job is absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. And I haven't walked in a woman's shoes, so I can't speak for a woman on this subject. But there just needs to be so much more equality in the workplace, and people need to understand some people want kids, some people don't want kids. And that's okay either way. And you can't not hire someone just for wanting to have kids. I even worked for a company that I remember them when I was watching the show, this resurfaced, this thought is that they didn't want to hire someone who's pregnant because that means that even after they have the baby, they won't have time for the job because they have kids. And it was a company run by basically women, which I just thought was absolutely terrible to have as a mindset in the workplace, and really pigeonholes you into a certain demographic, and that's not healthy for a workplace environment. Speaking of, this is another thing in the show that didn't age well, the fact that Eva Longoria's character had to feel fulfilled because she was feeling the pressure from her friends and from her husband to have children when she didn't want children. And then there was this like flash forward 5 years, where Eva Longoria became a mother, had kids, was raising kids, and she went from being a supermodel, which was her character, to they made her look very homely. She had a short haircut, like the mom haircut. She had more of a natural face. They made her look very frumpy, and it was just that association that a mother, same with Lynette, a mother has to be frumpy, has to have sauce on their shirt, has to be cooking in the kitchen. Speaking of, another thing that it didn't age well is the amount of fat shaming, like we talked about in Ugly Betty last week. But Eva Longoria's children, are in the show overweight for their age. And the things they say, I can't even imagine this little girl rewatching the show today and seeing the things that they said about her as a child. How traumatic. How traumatic. The internet already goes crazy with how kids look and how kids are perceived. Like they're children. But the fact that the show writers probably cast them for their looks in this way, typecasted, and then said these awful things about them, I feel for those girls. That's crazy. Another thing was the lack of diversity. So Eva Longoria is Hispanic and her husband is as well, which, I'm sure for that time was a step in the right direction, but there were no black characters at all until a season where they brought this family to the lane. Wisteria Lane is where it takes place. But then they made them total villains, and even their whole storyline can be portrayed as racist. But I'm sure it was just a bunch of white guys in a room writing this script. And luckily, at the last two seasons, which were the worst two seasons, we got Vanessa Williams, who's the only thing that was good and to add to those seasons. And even then, there were some very intense microaggressions that were said, and I was just absolutely shocked by that. Another one, to pull it up here, Lynette Scavo, who is a mom, and two of her kids are very spastic and sporadic, and they don't behave. But then she finds out they have ADHD, and she immediately shuts it down. And it very much is like, poor me as a mom, instead of thinking about the kids, because the doctor was like, we should give them some sort of medication. And everyone has different thoughts on it. But just the fact that she shut down the ADHD instead of working with the doctor to find a solution, I thought did not age well at all. At all. Someone who is 32 who just got diagnosed with ADHD. When I had signs very early on, I thought that was a very relatable, interesting part to the show. And also just something completely absurd. The fact that Susan Meyer, Terry Hatcher's character, who I guess was very difficult on set, was able to burn down an entire house and not get caught is absolutely fascinating. That's actually not the most absurd plotline. Someone adopts a girl from a Russian orphanage because she looks like her daughter who died. A lot of murder, like I said, stalking. Well, maybe that wasn't such a lighthearted show as I thought it would be. Still a fun watch. Okay. I did see an article this week, and I'll probably wrap up here, where there is a new season. I actually saw it on LinkedIn. It's like how to prepare for the season of layoffs. And it was from two managers. It's like and I'm like, the fact that we have to have seasons of layoffs is just absolutely insane to me, because I think it's kind of a cop-out in a lot of ways. And some companies do handle it well. I know during the pandemic, people had to do mass layoffs for budgets. My company that I worked for was part of it, but then they sat each person down and kind of gave them an exit interview. Usually when it's a layoff, it's like, hey, you're all done at once. And they aren't able to give the feedback, and they aren't able to ask what's next, or, they just kind of give a blanket severance, and it's not to the individual. So I think that would be my advice to managers. In any way that you are performing a layoff, make sure that you are looking out for the employees as well, individually, because I know you have to look out for the company. But put tools in place, resources. I know that my company had a job board, and it's actually pretty cool when I've seen when there's layoffs, companies on LinkedIn or managers will post, hey, here are some great candidates who we just had to lay off for budget reasons, but they would be a great fit for your company. I see that as more valuable than, hey, sorry, we had to make some budget cuts. Good luck out there. And you could say, yes, that's how the world works, but why does it have to be? Why can't we change it? So, one, if you have any wind that your company is going through layoffs soon, instead of just being afraid, like, oh my God, I have to work harder in order to get it, because a lot of companies actually use it as kind of a fear tactic as well to get you to go above and beyond while you're still on your pay grade. And we all know how I feel about that. Do what's in your job description. Growth isn't necessary, but be open, be honest, and maybe go to your manager if you have a good relationship. Be like, hey, this is this rumor. What do I need to do to be prepared? What does it look like if I'm still working in my own capabilities? Because that even might be more telling the type of company that you're working for. And finally, I wanted to leave you all with a fun fact. And that fun fact is that I was thinking about this today when I was walking my dog. Do you know when dogs poop, they like when you stand guard for them? It makes them feel safer. But usually I'm like, oh, I'm going to give them space. But no, they actually like you to be right there. It's a comforting presence to them. And I cried a little bit. I did cry. Thank you guys so much for listening to Millennial Made this week. I have a flight in 4 hours, classic. So I got to run and do some laundry. But appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next week.